Hello guys, we are going to talk about a drama thriller film called Swallow from 2019. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Housewife Hunter stands on the balcony of a house on top of a hill and admires the picturesque landscape below. Endless open spaces, a river, and a forest on the opposite bank. The woman gently fixes her hair before inhaling the aroma of coffee, while her husband Richie carefully ties his tie. Hunter is busy with household chores. He fishes leaves from the pool, blown in by the wind from the nearby trees, and then carefully puts decorative items in place. Evening comes, and the hostess also meets it on the balcony. Meanwhile, her husband is frying meat in a frying pan, and then carefully slicing it with a knife on a plate. A man sitting at the table attracts the attention of the guests. It is Richie's father. He is making a toast, congratulating his son on an incredible achievement. He has become the youngest CEO in the history of their family company. In his speech, Richie thanks his wife for the love and kindness that helped him achieve such success. As for his parents, they just bought the newlyweds a house. The next day, Hunter sits in front of the TV and draws a plan for the home improvement in his notebook. The house is new, and many things still have the film from the transportation. It clearly lacks a woman's hand to create comfort. She is extremely concerned about harmony in everything. Even the food on the plate must be laid out strictly according to the rules. Setting up dinner and the table, Hunter passes the time while waiting for her husband. Over dinner, she talks about her plans to furnish the family home, but Richie is looking at his phone. He has important work-related correspondence. Hunter concludes her monologue by saying how happy she is to have distracted her husband from his phone for a moment. One morning, the situation changes radically. A pregnancy test shows a positive result. Hunter sits on the couch while Richie tells his mother by phone that he is having a baby. The composition of the shot symbolizes her life. She seems to be in the center, but important events are happening somewhere on the side, and decisions are being made without her. In the evening, Richie takes his wife to a restaurant to meet his parents. The father-in-law happily congratulates the future mother. It is obvious that heredity is more important to him than the personality of the woman who is carrying the child. This also applies to the mother-in-law. Instead of asking about her daughter-in-law's health, she tells stories about how long she was giving birth to her Richie. Irritated by this blatant disregard, Hunter takes ice cubes out of a glass of water and starts nibbling on them, finally getting her attention. Hunter is preparing the children's room when his mother-in-law suddenly walks in unannounced. She hands her daughter-in-law a book, not forgetting to mention that long hair would suit her better because Richie loves long-haired women. When the intrusive relative leaves, Hunter opens the book and immediately comes across a piece of advice. Without delay, she tries something new, swallowing a decorative ball. In the evening, Richie notices that his wife is in an unusually good mood. The reason is that she is proud of herself because she has done something unexpected. The man wonders what it is, but instead of telling him the truth, Hunter says that she has chosen curtains for the home theater. Then she asks if he is happy with her. In the morning, Richie is getting ready for work and notices an iron mark on his tie. Hunter strokes it. The man smilingly explains that silk ties should not be ironed because the fabric deteriorates, but only steamed. Despite his outward friendliness and white-toothed smile, Richie is angry, as his facial expressions and tense movements show. When Richie rips off his shirt to change, Hunter puts on gloves and pulls out the balloon that had traveled through her entire digestive tract. She washes it thoroughly and then places it on the nightstand in front of the mirror. In the room with the home theater, Hunter prepares for the upcoming birth by watching a video about the benefits of eating the placenta. Despite its naturalistic nature, the video does not bother her at all. The woman pounces on the cheese balls with appetite. However, the viewing is interrupted by a phone call from Richie's mother, who invites her daughter-in-law to visit. The women sit in the living room, talking about unrealized plans and achievements. Hunter tells them that before she got married, she worked as a saleswoman. The conversation ends with a question: is she happy? Hunter answers in the affirmative, but she does so in a very unconvincing manner. When she returns home, she starts cleaning to relieve the tension after the unpleasant conversation. The vacuum cleaner's brush sucks up an object, which the owner immediately notices. She turns the vacuum cleaner over and pulls out the foreign object. However, its shape and size worry her more than the condition of the vacuum cleaner. Hunter puts it on the table and looks at it nervously. A strange attraction takes over. She puts the sharp object in her mouth, but almost immediately spits it out because it pierces her tongue. She goes back to the living room where the vacuum cleaner is upside down, but never resumes cleaning. All her thoughts are occupied with the same button on the kitchen table. Eventually, she gives in to the impulse, walks over to the table, puts the button in her mouth, and swallows it. Gunther feels pain as the object passes through her esophagus, but then she feels better and smiles, although a tear is running down her cheek. Whether it is a tear from the pain she has experienced or from the realization of the worthlessness of her life remains a mystery. The man returns from work not alone, but with a group of colleagues. They are celebrating something by having a party by the pool. Meanwhile, Hunter is getting dressed, but an unexpected pain attack forces her to run to the bathroom. She hurries to wash off the marks so that no one will see them. For a minute, she is distracted by Richie, but Hunter quickly sends him back to the guests. The object takes its place next to the ball on the nightstand. When Hunter goes downstairs, she doesn't have time to join the guests. A bloody stain appears on her clothes. She tries to wash it off when her friend Richie comes into the room. He strikes up a conversation and asks for permission to hug her. Hunter reminds him that she is married to Richie, but this does not stop the man. He's lonely, he misses human warmth. The woman agrees to the hug, which turns out to be more necessary for her than for her friend. For a moment, she feels calm and thanks him. The next object to get acquainted with her inner world is a finger battery. After swallowing it, Hunter gets a boost of energy to decorate the interior. She adds bright colors to the strict shades of the rooms. A flower bed with fresh flowers appears near the pool. The book also brings her joy. She opens its pages and swallows them. The collection of naturally occurring objects is gradually growing. Some of them are impressive. How did they manage to travel all this way without damaging the body with such shapes and sizes? Euphoria and family harmony do not last long. During the first ultrasound visit, the doctor notices foreign objects in Hunter's body. Using special tools, they remove a battery, a pin, a paperclip, a clothespin, and other things from her abdomen. Naturally, Hunter's strange behavior does not leave Richie indifferent. In his ideal world, such inadequacy is unacceptable. He reacts violently by collecting small items around the house. Even his wife's assurances that the strange desires have appeared recently do not convince him, so he takes her to a psychologist. Although in fact it is his father's initiative, who is ready to pay for any treatment, just to save his heir. They don't even want to leave the office, but the doctor has to insist. Hunter asks for some pills to stop her from swallowing objects, but the psychiatrist starts talking about her parents. The woman assures him that she had a normal childhood, and the desire to swallow things is caused by a burning desire to feel the texture of these objects in her mouth. Richie's parents are very concerned about the well-being of their genetic and partly financial investment. They are becoming increasingly concerned. In particular, they hire an assistant for their daughter-in-law, Lewis, whose job is formally to help, but de facto to make sure that she does not do anything harmful. Hunter doesn't like the idea, but she doesn't have much of a choice. Richie's parents have decided everything for her, as well as for their son. Lewis follows her everywhere, never leaving her for a minute, even when she goes to the bathroom. He searches the woman. One day he says that in war, when you are being shot at, you don't have time for mental problems. If Hunter had to go through that, she wouldn't be suffering from such problems now. In the meantime, she has a bag of small parts that allows her to quench her shameful passion. During a party in honor of Richie's birthday, Hunter learns that her husband has told his colleagues about her strange behavior. She expresses her indignation, but he asks her not to spoil his celebration. She spends the next day worrying, but in the evening, Richie apologizes to her, albeit not immediately, for telling everyone about her problem. This puts Hunter back in a good mood. Later, the woman admits that she came into the family by accident. Nevertheless, the family treated Hunter well. The criminal was caught, and he served his time, and now lives in peace. The next day, Hunter accidentally overhears a conversation between Richie and a psychiatrist. The doctor, in violation of medical confidentiality, tells him about her background. This leads to a nervous breakdown. Now the heroine doesn't know who she can trust at all. She crawls under the bed in desperation, where Lewis finds her. He follows, calming Hunter down. Obviously, due to his post-traumatic stress disorder, the refugee understands her feelings. Lying under the bed, they both fall asleep, but the woman wakes up first. She goes to the kitchen, where she swallows a long screw. Due to its size, it could be fatal. Lewis manages to call an ambulance in time. Hunter is saved by surgically removing the object from her esophagus. However, after being discharged from the hospital, her fate is sealed. Richie's parents send their daughter-in-law to a closed medical facility until the baby is born, but a poor refugee helps Hunter escape by making it look like she left through a bathroom window. Hunter hitchhikes to a motel and calls her husband. He asks her to come back without even listening to what she has to say. When the woman refuses, Richie gets angry and yells at her to give him his child back. The woman smashes the cell phone, then watches TV and eats the ground. In the morning, Hunter calls his mother to stay with her. The mother gently hints to her unloved daughter that now is not the best time. Hunter's sister has given birth, and the house is too noisy and there is no room. The heroine has no choice but to go to her other parent, her criminal father, whose photo she kept in her wallet. The house is celebrating a little girl's birthday. Hunter, getting lost among the guests, sneaks into the party, where he lets the father know about his mistakes. To avoid a scandal, he agrees to talk to her alone. Hunter wonders what was driving him at the time and how psychologically abnormal he was. Has she passed on his abnormalities to her? The man reassures her that he made a mistake when he was young, but in prison he took responsibility for it. His crime was the result of arrogance and self-confidence, not psychological instability. Therefore, Hunter probably did not inherit anything from him. Having received the answer to her question, the heroine leaves. She goes to the doctor to get a prescription for pills to stop her pregnancy. At the mall, Hunter takes the medication, swallowing the pills one by one. Later, in a public restroom stall, she leaves behind a bloody mess in the toilet. She smiles to herself and walks out. The camera remains in place. Other women enter and exit the restroom, but Hunter's story ends there.